showtime.
Welcome back to the Razer TSL. This is the round of 4, day number 2. We have JF against Brat. JF right now in the lead in this best of 5. He's up 2-1, and that means just one more win and he will take it down. And before we start casting the game, I would just like to once again thank our sponsors, Razer. They're always pushing esports forward, as you see, especially with the Razer TSL. A wonderful event. Couldn't have done without them. Thank you so much. Make sure you check out their website, razerzone.com. And now we have JF over here with Protoss at 3 o'clock on Zodiac. We have Brat with the Terran over at 9 o'clock. And you know what? This is pretty good spots for JF, actually. It becomes a lot easier on this map when you're next to the Protoss because you can push right over on that high ground expansion in the middle. So that is a nice thing for JF. And the pressure, I mean, even if Brat was in the army, the Russian army, which I'm sure makes him a manly man, the pressure here has to be big for anybody. I mean, if he loses this game, he's out a lot of money. If JF wins, that's plus $1,500. He's playing for $5,000. So, a lot of pressure here from Brat. If he loses one more game, he is out.
Yeah, I mean, the pressure at this point must be ridiculous. I know the pressure I felt when I was in, like, the round of 8 WCG. It was like, not even the finals, like just the qualifying for Canada. And I mean, how far away from money is that? Like 20 rounds, like 50 games? And I mean, this is basically one more game and you're out $1,500. Basically 4 more games and you've just won $5,000. That's ridiculous. Basically one of the biggest prizes we've ever seen in esports for StarCraft in an online league. And we see JF, what balls? He's going for a 12 Nexus against Terran. That's ridiculous. How can he know they were cross positions? It must be his mental map hack. It must be his star sense. This is ridiculous, and this is really going to pay off if Brat decides to play passively, and his late scout is really going to play into JF's hands.
This is a beautiful opening, in my opinion, on Zodiac for PvT, because this is a very, very long map. Most Terrans here are going to open up either Siege Expand or, an FD Terran build. And a 12 Nex holds off both of those just brilliantly and gets you so far ahead. And just the distance to scout and being a 4-player map, I mean, imagine JF did this and he was 6 o'clock where Brat is right now. Brat could actually do some sort of Marine SCV all-in, which would be, pretty good against JF, and JF would definitely be behind. But if he scouts him 2nd or 3rd, it becomes a lot harder. He's already got his factory making, it's not so early that he can do some sort of all-in type of move against the 12 Nex. So, it's a very strong move, and if it gets off successfully, JF is going to be worlds ahead.
So what should Brat do scouting this? Should he go for an all-in, or should he go just basically expand immediately, or should he 2-factory? What is the answer when you scout this late?
There's several builds you can do, and he does scout it right now, so he can choose which to do. He sees it, so it's going to be interesting to see which one he does choose. He's already taken SCV off gas, but you can either do a 2-factory rush against it, or you can get extremely fast spider mines, and you just do a little bit of a contain on the Protoss while taking your own expand, and that holds him in. You don't want the Protoss to get a quick 3rd base as well. You want to keep him on that 2nd base, and then play a macro game more into the mid-game. And it looks like that's probably going to be what he chooses here. He's making a few more Marines, but he's taking more SCVs off the gas there. So definitely I think we're going to see some spider mines going up, and yeah, he is skipping that siege tank, so it looks like he will try to do some sort of contain with this, and that's a good, safe opening against the 12 Nex.
Okay, but we can see JF has already started Dragoon range. He's got 2 gates, a Dragoon out already, a Zealot out already. His supply is basically going to skyrocket. He's sitting at 29 at this point, and Brad is also at 29, so about even, but I mean, just the economy boost that JF is going to get from this is ridiculous. He's got the first vulture out. If Brad can keep that SCV in JF's main, but unfortunately he loses it, he could have kept that there, maybe let the vulture and get some probe kills. But it looks like the Dragoon's going to come back to defend this easily, and without mines done, Brad will have really nothing to do. Looking to set up his expansion, and just as you said, looks like he wants to set up a mine contain and basically just stop JF from getting another base and let his economy get back in this game.
And JF, he comes right out. He knows what the counter to his build is, and he comes right out to counter. He does not want to be mine contained, and he will not be. Now, this was a mistake by Brett. He should have brought those 4 Marines that he made out with him. They would have held off the Dragoons and the Zealot while he lays the mines, and that's just critical. You need to get those mines up there so you see exactly where the Protoss is. Right now, that's really that one mine in the center of the map. I'm sorry, but that does not constitute a contain, and JF can pretty much just walk out and do what he wants right now. But Brett, he is sending up more vultures. He's going to want to just lay them around. He doesn't want to be attacked early. This is going to allow him to get siege mode a lot later, add more factories, and maybe, you know, catch up so that he won't be totally out macroed.
Oh, and what's this? Is that a 3rd command center in the main of Brad okay? Yes, I think it is. 3 command centers, 1 factory. That's gutsy, and that's the kind of play you need to do to get back into a game after Protoss has gone 12 Nexus. We see the Zealot coming in, trying to just basically draw mine fire. It's going to set up this mine, but there's a Vulture there, going to hold that back. And JF trying to put on a little pressure with some Dragoons here against mines. Brad's got to be careful. I mean, he has a bunch of mines out, but he doesn't want to lose too much map control at this point against JF. JF's got his robotics just finishing, going to be putting up an observatory, and at that point he can put a lot of pressure. He's got a lot of units at this point, already at 50 supply, whereas Brad is sitting at 42.
You know, this is a super risky command center by Brat here. I'm not sure why he made it right there. It looks like he wants to take that base in the middle of the map. But, you know, I think floating to the island might be a smarter move right now. JF looks like he's about to get aggressive. He's making a shuttle, so it's going to be pretty hard to hold on to a base way out there.
Yeah, I think Brad is really spreading himself thin. It's just unfortunate. Like, I mean, what can he do to get back in this? He's got to basically take it back from JF. Slow and steady, I think, but JF has shown that he will not let that happen. He knows exactly what Brad is thinking. He's moving out a single Vulture trying to sneak in. It's got no mine, so it's not going to be able to get too much done. Dragoon's coming back instantly, and we saw against the last Vulture, JF loses no probes yet again, and that's 3 Vultures for nothing. Probe in the shuttle. He's flying that over to the island. Sorry, there's a barracks there already. Unfortunately, you can't overlap unless you have lights off, so that's not really going to do too much. But we've got a robotic support bay down now, and Reavers are going to be coming from JF, and we've seen what he can do with those.
Definitely, and you know what? This is kind of interesting what we see these two, the way they're changing, the way they're playing. That Vulture saw the shuttle, which is just critical. We see that Brat has not lifted off that 3rd command center. He's just making SCVs in his base. He's going to be able to actually catch up on the SCV count. You know, pumping 3 command center SCVs is going to catch him up to these extra probes that JF has. So, you know, that's still very helpful, and it's great that he's not floating that out yet, because if he floated that out right now, I mean, that would die really easily, and he saw that because of that Vulture. So that was a very smart move with that Vulture. You know, a little bit of harass, keeping JF running back and forth, you know, keeping him on his toes. So a nice move there by Brat. And this, the barracks also landed there, as you said. I mean, he has thwarted JF's plan. JF wanted to take that island, and now he's not. So Brat is dealing with what JF is doing very, very well here.
Yeah, exactly. If JF got that island up, I mean, there's almost nothing Brat can do. But Terran typically doesn't want to get too many dropships, and Protoss just gets a shuttle, and that basically holds off the island. So really nice play by denying that island. We see a shuttle coming down to 6 o'clock to Brat's natural. A ton of tanks there and turrets up. We've got a Reaver and 2 Zealots in the shuttle. I really don't think it's going to be able to get too much done unless he sacrifices it. He's moving in, immediately runs back from the turret, takes another turret fire, and looks like JF not going to be able to get too much done here. He is forced to take the 12 inside base, which again, just basically forcing him on his back foot. I mean, he wanted to take the island. He wasn't able to do that, and it's very annoying as a player, forced into a position you don't want to be in.
It is, and we see that Brat, he has stopped his SCV production a little bit. It looks like he's adding a lot of factories. He's going up to 5 facts. Now, this may make you think that he's going to go for some sort of attack, but I don't think so. You know, when someone goes 12 Nexus, they're going to be ahead of you macro-wise for really a long time. So, going 5 factories to defend your third base is actually a very, very smart move. So that could be what we're seeing. But no, look at this. He's adding a 6th factory as well now. So, you know what? We may be seeing an attack, despite this command center just sitting there. And as I said, he has stopped making SCVs, so he may be saving up all that money for some sort of very large attack. And JF, he just got his 4th gate. His 5th gate is almost done here. And he went Reaver before this third base, which is just finished. So, you know, he may find a really decent timing to go after JF with.
And this shuttle is just basically probing around the Terran main, looking for somewhere to drop, hoping there's a hole in Brat's defense, but there is none. The shields are gone on that shuttle. The paint's been scratched down to 35 HP, and nothing the shuttle can do. It's looking at the island. Of course, there's no base there. Jeff just looks to basically hold the expansion, hold Brat back so he can't take this 9 o'clock inside base. But Brat says forget that. He's pushing in. He's going to take this 9 o'clock base. The command center is in the air, and the shuttle is forced to come back to help defend this. Jeff is at a monstrous 130 supply at this point, whereas Brat OK is sitting barely at 101, 109 now. If he can hold this up and get his 9 o'clock up, that'll be very nice for Brat, but he's got to be careful he doesn't get broken right here.
Yeah, Zealot bombs can be very powerful right now. He does not have turrets out with his tanks. He does not have an armory. No Goliath is what that means. So he has no defense against these Zealot bombs. So JF, if he plays smartly here with the Zealot bombs, I mean, his observer's air, he sees no anti-air. So I expect to see him do that pretty quickly here. And if he does, I don't know. Brat is going to just start losing some tanks, and he cannot have that happen right now. JF's supply just going up and up and up. And we see now he keeps on flying in as if he's going to do a Zealot bomb, but none yet. It's a little bit weird there.
And he scouted the 9 o'clock command center. He sees the Maynarding SCVs. Is he going to drop the Reaver? Of course he's going to. When is he going to do it? Waiting for them to group up. Reaver gets dropped. Oh dear God. Gets about, looks like 6 SCVs. Reaver drops again. Going to clean up some vultures here. But the Reaver actually gets taken out quite quickly. The shields go down to the concussive fire of the vultures. Brad OK actually defended that pretty well, given what could have happened. But there's still a Zealot in there to drop fire. Mine's getting dropped. Command center getting targeted by the vultures. Looks like Jeff is just strolling back and forth, putting a little pressure on Brat, making him feel tense. But Brat's getting some turrets up. He's done nicely here. He's sitting at 123, whereas JF is sitting at 150. So we've got a great game going on here. JF looking to take the 12 o'clock main to supplement his army, just keep his macro going. And he's got a forge spinning with +1 at this point.
Now Brat is starting to look very good here. Look at him siege up on this third expand. This is a very big deal. If he gets the high ground totally secured up there, he's going to be able to push up, you know, cut off supply to 12 o'clock and be able to push right over to that 12 o'clock inside natural that was JF's third base. So, you know, the fact that he had his barracks landed may turn out to win him the game. I mean, that's a really big deal. If JF had taken that island, it would be totally safe. But as it looks right now, Brat is kind of slow pushing, and he may very well cut right up and kill that base. So, I mean, a lot of foresight there, and now you see how something very small like that pays off huge into the later game.
And really, I think taking 12 might have been a mistake by JF, because Brat OK will be able to support his push from his 9 o'clock and cut off access to the 12 o'clock. Had it been 6 o'clock, Brat's army would have been at 9 as opposed to 6, and not really too much that he could do from there. So, but again, JF does hold the macro advantage. He's almost maxed at this point. Brat does have a beastly army, but he is not anywhere close to max at this point. Here comes the Reaver again, dropping a Zealot. No, it's a High Templar this time. High Templar, is it going to storm? No, it completely misses. That is a failure, and the shuttle just getting basically hit by a turret at that point. Nice defense by Brat, and now he's pushing forward. This is a very difficult position for JF.
Yeah, JF is going to have to do something very strong here because Brat, he's just going to push up there, kill this expand, and then 12 is just mincemeat as soon as Brat wants to kill it. So JF right now, we see him. He's repositioning his army. He's figuring out exactly what he wants to do here. He doesn't really have that many gateways. He only has about 7 gateways right now, but he does have an Arbiter Tribunal and a second Stargate warping in, so he wants to make it into a later game. But, you know, he's going to have to make something happen. We see he's moving down. It looks like he may be going to break in the center where the push is a little bit weak. There's not that many tanks there, but they have long range. And we see they are splattering these goons as they take out the spider mines, but the goons are coming right in. Vultures come down to help, and here come the speed zealots. That is a lot of speed zealots. How will this do? I do not know. And he is just running right in. There are so many units from Brat here, though. Jeff looks like he's going to have to turn around. There's just too much. Brat has so much very nice macro this game, but the Psy Storms are going to come out, and the Psy Storm's nice on the Vultures there, but not hitting many tanks, and the goons are all that's left. A lot of blue soup all over the place. JF has to pull back, and Brat is pulling into a commanding lead with that failed attack of JF.
Yeah, of course, and Brat lost mostly Vultures at that point. Jeff had no real killing units. He had no Reavers, and the High Templar were ineffective. So Brat's just siege goons were so effective there. And Brat is moving into the center of the map. Dragoon's coming. There's only a few zealots. Jeff's going to get turned away, and Brat has complete map control. Look at all these tanks. Dear God. They're moving towards the choke of JF, and if he gets choked, he's going to lose 3 bases, and he's going to be in a ton of trouble. I mean, he's in trouble anyway at this point. He's trying to add gateways, but just not enough time. We can see about 3 units queued in every gateway. JF trying to move in. Vulture's taking out the speed zealots. Only Dragoons left. JF pushed all the way back to his natural, and what can he do at this point? He's only at 110. Terran is at 140. Oh, good God. Brat is basically cleaning up JF, and this is ridiculous. He defended this 12 Nexus perfectly, and it looks like we're going to go into a 5th game.
Oh, it definitely looks like that. I mean, JF, this is brutal. He's just losing units over and over. Brat now just rallying in the Vultures. That's exactly what he needs to do. Just protect those tanks he already has. He has more than enough tanks right now. And look at this. Brat is taking that 6 o'clock inside natural, so he's going to go up to 4 base. He's going to knock this base out of JF, so JF's going to drop down to 3 base. And, I mean, I would not, as a Protoss player, want to have less bases than Brat. So, Jeff was looking in a very hard position, but he is pumping out Arbiters. He's lost that 12 o'clock inside natural, so it's just looking worse and worse for him. He still has 12 o'clock, but Brat has to know that by now with those probes running to it. And look at this. The Nexus dying at the natural, so yeah, Jeff is looking pretty dead at this point.
Yeah, he's basically working up 1 base. His main is about to finish, and he's only got 12 o'clock at this point. Brat is pushing into his main, and really he's lost control of his gateways, so he won't even be able to make units at this point. He's probably not leaving just because he has so many minerals, thinking if he can just pump a bunch of units he can get back into it, and he has an Arbiter as well, but Brat with complete map control, taking the 6 o'clock inside base, and I mean, once he moves towards that 12 o'clock and cuts off the other gateways, JF will have nothing left to do. JF's lost his main, and basically lost this game, and it looks like we're going to see a 5th game, and this is going to be incredible.
Indeed, but JF has not given up yet. I mean, Arbiters, if anything can get you back in a game, it is the Arbiter. But you know, I don't know what he could do at this point. Look at the natural of Brat here. I mean, look at that. That is a lot of units. Brat is finally starting to upgrade here. He's got his science facility. He's got the +1 attack. He hasn't started +2 yet. But, you know, I don't think he even cares. At this point, he's just kind of going 1A, 2A, 3A, please leave, JF. But JF, he does not want to leave. You know, I'm not sure why. Maybe he thinks he does have a chance. He's building many gateways up at the 12 o'clock base. So, still trying his best, for sure.
Yeah, but we see the army of Brat, okay, rolling towards 12 o'clock. Jeff's got to know he can't stop that. He's not going to be able to mine at this point. Once Brat moves in, and I mean, Jeff showing a little bit of stubbornness. I mean, everyone, including his mother, probably knows the game is over, so we're really just waiting for Jeff to leave. He's trying to take that 3 o'clock inside main, and he's trying to put up a gateway there. That's not going to work. He's probably going to try to break out of his main at some point. I don't know if he's stalling. Oh, he's stalling for recall, it looks like. But, yeah, that's not going to work. He's lost 12 o'clock. He's not mining, basically, and that's going to be the end of the game. And wow, I still can't get over that Brat won this against 12 Nexus. JF had such a lead, and just really Brat played just basically immaculately.
Yeah, Brat's scouting really paid off from there. I mean, he saw the shuttle, he got his turrets up, he didn't take that third base despite having the command center. And here we see a recall down to 6 o'clock inside main. A lot of units being recalled, but I do not think it'll be enough. Brat has just so many units. Brat is sitting here right around maxed out. JF is dropping down. He's almost down to 100. His army consists of mostly speed zealots. So, you know, these are going to be cleaned up extremely easily by Mass Mech. The Vulture's now coming up the ramp, killing these zealots right off, and it looks like JF will be dead here with Brat taking the game, and that's gonna tie it up 2-2. That is really exciting going to Game 5, a final game, one game to decide who's going to be in the finals of the Razer TSL. And, you know, they're going to be playing against Draco, so, you know what? Go Brat.
Yeah, and a little bit of like the meta game here. Brad is going to be rolling on a bit of a high, given that he just won this game, especially against a 12 Nexus, whereas Jeff knows he won on Wuthering. So, I mean, they both have their advantages going into the game. We're going to have to see who plays it off, and we're going to have to see if Brat decides to play a new strategy, given what he tried last time against JF on Wuthering, just basically failed. JF trying to roll in with his 62 supply army against Brat's monstrous army. Yeah, that's not going to work. He's losing the 6 o'clock inside main. He's got about 6 probes mining. And, yeah, he's trying to make an Arbiter. And he's trying to make some units. And he's trying not to die. But he leaves the game. Wow. So we're going on to Game 5 here in a TVP Brad OK against Jianfei.
You know, that was actually a pretty exciting game. I thought that JF was going to take it down 3-1 at 12 Nexus. That is a hellish build to play against. And, you know, I'm just so impressed with Brat's play there.
Yeah, I mean, I give the MVP to the barracks. I mean, what? Who knows how that game would have turned out if not for landing the barracks. So, I mean, how many times in a Terran vs. Protoss do you say the game winner was a landing of a barracks? But really, I mean, it stopped JF from taking that island. It threw him a little off balance because his timing was off. He wanted to expand there. And then when he went to expand, his timing was a little off. So really incredible play by Brat, good foresight, and let's see what he can do.
Yeah, and you know, the next map, of course, this is Game 5, and we're going to be replaying on Wuthering Heights. And the first game we saw on Wuthering Heights, JF got the cross spots, which was just critical. I mean, it was a long, long rush distance for Brat, and you know, JF just played it very well, and you know, it was impressive. So, you know, that's going to come into play a little bit. Brat knows how strong JF is on this map, so he's definitely going to want to switch up his strategy a little bit.
Yeah, but if they get cross positions, I mean, Brat will know what to look for from JF. It's kind of hard to get a third base on this for Protoss on Wuthering. So, I mean, if they get close positions, it kind of favors Brat, given his push will be that much quicker. And if they get cross positions, I mean, Brat is still in it because we have already played a game cross positions, so he kind of knows what to expect. And I mean, JF has kind of opened up the same, other than the 12 Nexus, he always opens up range goons, fast expands, and then goes straight into Reaver. So, I mean, JF hasn't shown too much creativity here, and let's see if Brat OK can capitalize on that, on this repeat map.
And with that being said, let's go, Hoppit.